Sahanavavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mahavidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sairam to all of you. We welcome everybody to the Seaside Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. We want to first express gratitude to Swami for giving us this opportunity to take part in this Gita Jnana Yajna. And we are studying Gita Vahini, and particularly this particular one we are doing with reference to chapter 12, one of the very important chapters, Bhakti Yoga. All words of God are powerful, but this specially given very much importance by Swami. This is talks about how to be a devotee of God. Everybody wants to be a devotee of God. Here the main focus is on the path of devotion. And we finished up to Shloka 15, and now once we came to 16, Swami gave a special discourse on that on May 24th, 2000. Whole discourse was just on that particular shloka. So there are still 4 more shlokas, 17, 18, 19, and 20. But this one is the very important because Swami not only he talked in 2000, he talked even before 1990. So it shows the importance of this. So we talked last few weeks. What did we talk about? The qualities, about 6 qualities on a page. What are the 6 qualities? Prajnan, you are smart. Good. Yeah, those 5 anapecha, suchi, that is having no worldly desire and having purity internal and external, and third having determination. Whatever you do the best. And the udasino, no get attached into anything. That is one cosmo. And not to have worry about what will happen tomorrow or day after, what happened before. Gatabhyadaha, no worry, always. Don't worry, be happy. Sarvaramba parityagi. So just live in the moment. So just do whatever it is. Just don't get into unnecessary obligation. That is why 3 things Baba says. Don't get unnecessary obligations. Don't go to unnecessary places, unnecessary things. Don't get unnecessary connections with people or places. So then your mind will be calm. But whenever it goes, mind gets restless. So this is the way to do. Okay, now Swami finished those, and now we have started doing about the service, where Swami was emphasizing the service, the reward for service is, what did Swami say? No, service itself. No, there I gave the example that there is no service is not part namaskar. Okay, I want to clarify. That is why people get part of it. One time the doctors were doing surveys. People, whenever you do surveys, people get something. benefit right there. Swami gives them vibhuti, Swami calls them for interview, Swami at least gives Pad Namaskar to people who do the service. So people are used to, oh, if I do service, I'll get Pad Namaskar. They get used to it. That means they have expectations. Swami said that's not good. So this doctors group, I know that man, he was from Vizag, he's in charge. So we were new to, he told them, let your doctors decide. They want Pad Namaskar or they want to have another opportunity to do service next time. That means to be able to do service, it's equivalent to getting God's grace. That is the thing. So that is why you should think service is its own reward. You should feel happy. I'm doing service, not that recognizing, oh, I'm doing so much service, they didn't make me service coordinator, or they didn't announce in the thing, they forgot my name to mention. See, I'm not just joking, this really happened all over, even now it happens all over the world, and some of them are very senior people. They have been devotees for 40 years. Even today, one senior man, I don't know, is think very good person. Oh, they don't even mention my name there and have been doing so long. So this Maya, it does that. We should pray, Lord, let me do it just to please you, not the world. Then we'll be happy. Not easy. Maya is always makes it. That is how the whole problem is. Even weddings, here it is not problem, it's a greeting. In India, I didn't know, my brother was telling, not greeting you send is no. Personally you should go there. Oh, he didn't even personally come and invite. My God, so much ego. That means just send invitation. You want to let know you're a part of the family. These are the kind of things. So sad that place these things. At least we should not be there. We can't change people, but at least we should be above all that. So that is what we should do. That is what the service aspect is. So that is whatever service we do, Swami says put a stamp. What stamp? Prema, love. So everything, whatever you do with love. Then it goes to God. Then God is pleased. So that is what we ended last week. So now, see, Devi, you are continuing from there.
Nothing comes without perseverance. Slowly but surely, you must develop all the qualities enumerated in the Bhagavad Gita shloka. Do not ever doubt that the acquisition of these virtues is impossible. Go on rubbing 2 pieces of wood. Fire is sure to emerge. Go on churning curd. Butter is sure to be formed. Engage constantly in enquiry. Wisdom would certainly blossom. Sparks of fire are produced when 2 pieces of wood are rubbed hard together. Butter is formed when curd is churned in a sustained manner. Similarly, in spirituality, sustained inquiry leads one to wisdom and divinity. You realize the truth, Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. Is it possible to get fire without rubbing and butter without churning? The fire is latent in the wood and is not visible. You have to rub hard to make the fire emerge. Butter is latent in the curd, and you have to churn hard to make it come out. In the same way, if you want God's love, you must constantly do good work. Do it solely for God's pleasure and offer it all to God. It is only when you work with such a spirit of surrender that you become eligible for God's love. Surrender does not mean that you are vanquished and that the other one has emerged victorious. In spirituality, it means that the two merge into one. There is nothing like giving or receiving. Recognize the cosmic unity that pervades everywhere. Recognize that this substratum of unity is nothing but God. You will then automatically experience God. Should I stop here?
Yeah.
So the three examples that he gives in this discourse, that the fire is latent in the wood, there is butter and curd, and in ourselves, we have to constantly practice self-inquiry, and that the wisdom will come out. And I think the one thing he's making very clear is this is not an easy path. Difficulties will come. Be prepared to be, you have to be rubbed hard and pounded and, be hardened and chiseled for that beautiful diamond to come out. And I think later on he talks about the difficulties are part of life. So we have to work hard. The abhyasa, we have to practice, work hard. It is within us. We just need to look and constantly have that self-inquiry for that wisdom to come out.
Actually, Swami, this particular thing, what he talked about, there is a thing, we sing this sloka, I remember, for Sainathashtakam. Sume supta gandham grutam nama kshire tilam gudha tailam chakaste chitagni anantam rutam purnam onkara rupam. He says, this is here example like that. Fire in the wood, you don't see it, right? Only when you rub it, you get it. And he similarly says, till seeds, the gingerly seeds, you don't see the oil, but only when you crush, you will see the seed. And fragrance in the flowers, you won't see unless you do that. And the juice in the sugar cane, unless you put it to the machine, you won't see. So everything needs effort. That's what he's telling. Just being lazy one place said, okay, God will take care, it won't hear. So you need to do the human effort. There is a sadhana. Swami is very, very important. Because like Swami says, electricity there, but you connect the bulb, then you will get the light. Or you put the fan, you will get it. Or you need to, unless you connect it, you won't experience that. So similarly, the consciousness, Brahman, is everywhere. Is there here in Los Angeles, in ocean, or in Russia, Venezuela, everywhere. But thing is, if you have purity, you will experience everywhere. He is omnipresent. That's one thing we should remember. But how to experience, that is why Swami says, you need to get rid of these negative qualities. So for that, you need to do what pleases God. Then, with His grace, you will be able to. And surrender also is negative time. In the worldly sense, oh, that country surrendered to this country, Ukraine surrender. This is bad. That means you are surrendering. Surrender in the worldly sense is not good. So you surrender to only one. Who? God. Human beings and things, you don't surrender to them. You just respect them, love them. So here we are talking about surrender to God. So we should give, because He is the one who gave us this body, mind, intellect, our wealth, family, name, everything. So He should, what is His, you are giving back to Him. It's not that it belonged to, it belonged always to Him. That we should remember. Thinking that it belongs to God, that itself is surrender. But in the worldly sense, you don't surrender to a king or a president or this. Be loving to them, respectful. Surrender only to God. That's what Swami said. Don't confuse. In the worldly sense, surrender is that you are giving up, like the enemy surrenders to the aggressor. That is what it is. Anybody has any other comments?
Even surrendering to God, it doesn't mean you're giving up.
Yeah.
Like I'm tired, I'm giving up. But it's what Uncle just said. All the actions, everything is His. He gave it to us. You're giving it back to Him. And He says here, both are the same. It doesn't mean one is victorious and one is not. It means both are merged into one.
You become one with Him. That is why repeatedly I said in Bhagavad Gita, Swami said 3 shlokas are important. Chapter 2, shloka 7. कार्पण्य दोषो उपहत स्वभावः इच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढ़ यश्रेयास निश्चितं ब्रूहि मे शिष्यस्ते अहम शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्ना. I am surrendering to you. Arjuna is his brother-in-law, his friend. He knows him so many years. He was Lord Krishna was just listening. He didn't say one word. Once he said, "I am your disciple." Shishyaste aham. He said, "I am your disciple." And prapanna, I surrender to you. So command me. Those three words he used. Then Krishna was melted. Okay, then he taught it. And another important thing is in chapter 9, which is sloka 22, he says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogatshemam vahamyam. Always think about me, surrender to me. I will take care of all your things. He gives a promise. It is not a promise given by anybody like your friend or family or somebody. This is promise given by God. If you think of me, I will take care of all your needs. I will bear your burden, he says. Vahamyaham. And last one, 18 sloka 66. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja ahantva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masuchaha. So once you surrender to me, I will give you moksha highest and get rid of all your grief, bondage, everything, your sins, everything is gone. But mamekam sharanam vraja. What does it mean? Only me. So you can't have, God is very jealous God. You can't surrender to somebody and me both. You have to surrender only to me. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. So Swami says you can't serve two masters. Mine is a single seat sofa. Just you install me, so don't do it. And then if you are part-time devotee, you'll have part-time benefit. People who do part-time job, they know, oh, I want the health benefit, I want pension benefit. Sir, you are only part-time, you work so many hours, so you cannot have health benefits, pension benefits. A lot of places people don't know. Same thing God says, you do a part-time devotion, you cannot expect full-time benefits. If you have part-time devotion, part-time benefit. If you have full-time devotion, God will give himself to you, full-time benefit. So we should all, from part-time devotees, we should become full-time devotees, giving highest priority to God, not second priority. Because that's what.
Uncle.
Yeah, oh, Arvind, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to share one little incident when speaking about part-time devotee, full-time devotee and surrender. Swami had given one beautiful example. Swami said the only way you can be full-time devotee is by surrendering. And what is surrender? Swami gave one beautiful analogy of car driving. Right now I'm driving back home after dropping my children, so it just struck me. Swami said, see, when you drive a car, there is no problem in first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. Swami was speaking about manual drive car. Swami said, first gear is front, second gear is back, third is front, fourth is back. Swami said, there's no problem in any of the gears. Problem happens when you shift from first gear to second gear or from second gear to third gear. When you go from front to back or back to front. That is why you press the clutch so that the transition is smooth. So also in life, you have front gear, back gear, front gear, back gear, which is happiness, sorrow, happiness, sorrow. In happiness, you are fine. In sorrow, you are fine. When you shift from happiness to sorrow, you get depressed, dejected, sad, irritated, anger, all that. When you shift from sorrow to happiness, you get pride, you get ego, you think I did it, I'm supreme, all these problems. That is when you should press the clutch of surrender. And what is that surrender? Swami said in Telugu, Idi na manchi kosame, meaning this is good for me. Whatever happens in life, you should close your eyes, be calm and tell, this is good for me, this is good for me. This alone is true surrender, Swami said. So when this happens, when you go from happiness to sorrow, you don't get depressed and dejected. You know that this happened because it is good for you. In the same way, when you go from sorrow to happiness, you don't feel pride and ego because it is not because of you, it is just good for you, so it happened. So I wanted to just share this with car driving example. Swami said that surrender means to tell, this is good for me, this is good for me, irrespective of what happens in life. Thank you. Sairam Uncle.
I'm good. Yeah, there is a point. So just to surrender. And actually, another way to look at it, make God the charioteer. Let him be the driver. Like Swami says, Sanatana Sarathi. He is the eternal charioteer. Once he is driving, when you leave into his, everything will be safe. So you need to have that. Then you will be having complete trust. You won't have any fear, anxiety, and grief. That is a good example of how one should completely surrender. It is, by the way, it is not easy. There is a last word in spirituality. Even great people like Draupadi, she is embodiment of purity. She is such a noble woman. And another name for her is called Krishna. She is such a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Even she, what happened? So when they were trying to disrobe, two things, Swami says, you can learn many lessons. We shared this before. So one is when she tries to protect herself, so just, and then only when she said she can't do, then she lifts up both the hands. Lord, I cannot struggle anymore. I surrender to you. Then only Lord Krishna came. Till then he didn't come. When he says, Lord, I cannot fight against these evil people. So only you can help me. When completely surrendered to Lord Krishna, so then only Lord Krishna. Till then he says, okay, you are taking care of yourself. Why should I do? Another thing is, you should feel God is within you. So she says, Dwaraka Vasa. He says, why did you take? I had to come all the way from Dwaraka. If you say Hridaya Vasa, you are my indweller of my heart, I could have right away appeared right away at the same time. So two lessons. Always think God is not somewhere in Kashi or Tirupati or some other Dwaraka. So he is within us. He's omnipresent. He's always Hridayavasi. We should have. That's why Lord Krishna says, what is the address for God? He asked Arjuna, what is your address? Swami, please give your address. He said, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hurdeshe Arjuna Tishtati. And Lord Krishna says, Sarvabhutanam, all being, Hurdeshe, I am sitting up in your heart. And she's the indweller. So if he's there, if you are calling someplace, it takes a while. Say, Lord, you are sitting there, come out and help me in that. So you should have that. Those are the lessons from Draupadi. And another lesson is, the whole crowd, all the people are there. Her husbands who are very powerful, 5 people. One is the embodiment of Dharma, one Bhima, very, very strong. Arjuna, he's the greatest archer in the world. Nakula. But none could help. Her own husbands could not help. Her teachers could not help. Her uncles could not help. Her own in-laws could not help. Bhishma, Drona, and thing. So only help is God. So there is a lesson. Even your friends, relatives, everybody may be there, even though they want to help. But they were helpless because of these evil people, Duryodhana, Dushasana, all these great people, and even husbands, they could not do anything. They were helpless to do. But only person who could help in that time is God. So always surrender to only to God, depend and think He is within you and completely surrender. You do it completely, give to Him, then only He comes. Same thing with Gajendra, remember? So when he was caught by the crocodile, so he just struggled for years and years and years. Then he realized his own strength is no good. Then he says, Lord, you can save me. Then Vishnu comes and uses his discus to kill the crocodile. You know all the stories. So to show that cry for God, don't cry for other things. That is what important. Sri Ramakrishna always said, one tear is shed for God, He will wipe off your 100 tears. But he says, who will cry for God? Everybody cries for family, for name, money, bank balance, wealth, all these things they cry. How many people cry for God? The great saints, like Sri Ramakrishna was the example of in the last few centuries, how to cry. And there are many saints and sages, all Mirabai, Tyagaraja, all these people, you need to have that, Swami says, vyakulta, that anguish, that hunger for God. That if you have, then that love, then God will come to you with that kind of intensity. We should, like Prahlada. The difference between Gajendra and Draupadi is what? They cried only when there is a problem, but he was happy. He never cried. Whatever they do, throw from the mountain, put the snakes, give the poison. He was smiling and saying Narayana, Narayana, because he has complete confidence that nobody can touch him. That kind of faith he had. So he didn't say, "Come and protect him." He didn't say at all. He says, just repeated the name and he was happy. So that kind of ultimate is like Prahlada, complete devotion, complete trust in God. That is we should have, and that is for that we need to be full-time devotees. Yes, that is what. Any comments? Okay, you can continue a couple of more paragraphs.
Students, all this may sound very difficult to practice. Know the truth that happiness comes only after hard effort. Without difficulty, there cannot be joy. Nasukat labhyate sukham. Happiness does not beget happiness. Happiness is born only out of difficulties. If there are no difficulties to start with, how can you enjoy the sweetness of pleasure? So you must struggle to some extent and face difficulties. Without darkness, does brightness have any value? Without hunger, does food have value? Similarly, you must discover the true taste and value of happiness. In what way must you do this? Discover first the love within you, and then use it to receive God's love. Once you tap the pure and unpolluted love within you, you will become the recipient of God's love. God would even overlook and forgive your mistakes. However, do not take this for granted and commit mistakes endlessly. You have to safeguard all the treasures God has deposited in you. This is where he's telling us to be prepared for difficulties. It's not the easy path. And we all know what Mother Kunti prayed for, to always give her troubles so that she may always think of Lord Krishna. As just what Uncle said, Draupadi, Gajendra, it's when they were in trouble, that's when they started crying out to the Lord. But it's only in that when we taste that unhappiness, and then we know what true happiness is.
Good. See, the way I was thinking of telling Kunti, that means you are in tune. So you told about Kunti. That is what the greatest example in Bhagavata is. Talk about Kunti's prayer. It is a famous prayer in Bhagavatam that he says, he prayed to the Lord Krishna, please give me difficulties. He says, what do you want? If you ask me a boon, he says, give me. Why? Because only during difficulties I was thinking more and more about you. So anytime you are thinking of God, that is good. Because when everything is nice party, good things, that time we forget. Material pleasures, a lot of times makes us forget God. In times of, actually ideal thing is, in all situations you should think of God. But most of humans, we are sometimes only when you have troubles, you intensify your prayers. So you need to, like Kunti, because anything, somebody gave a beautiful definition recently I read. What is sin? We say, Paropakaraya punyam, papaya parapedam. This is what Vyasa said. This is summary of all this. What is sin? People think there is that anything which causes pain to others is sin. And which causes happiness to others is punyam. But this saint has given a new definition. Anything which takes you away from God is sinful. Anything which takes you towards God is punyam. My God, that is a very good angle. That means you come bhajans, is taking to you God, it is punyam. You do some service, it is connecting to God, it is doing, or you hear about stories. So anything which takes you, go some partying, this, that, gossip, so it takes you away from God. there is papam. You may think, I'm mixing with this, there is nothing. But at that time, you are away from thoughts of God. So anything which takes you away from the thoughts of God is papam. And anything which takes you towards God is punyam. So always we should say, is it taking me towards God? Whatever thing we enjoy. So then that is the way. And also, as Swami said, you can enjoy happiness only. Like, for example, it is nice, beautiful, air-conditioned place. All the time you are here, you won't enjoy, but you are there in a hot outside and come into the air condition. Oh, it's so nice, so very cool and comfortable. You are all the time, you won't appreciate, but when you come from a hot place to the air condition, you enjoy. Similarly, when you go through the challenges in life, and by God's grace, things are, then you do that. But ultimately is always you're united. Real happiness is union with God, always connected to God. There is no more pain, suffering, or anything. That is the stage we should strive. That needs constant practice. It is not, doesn't come. So you have to go on thinking again and again. So it's very simple. People say, oh, complicated. Just Sri Ramakrishna, I was reading, just pray. Just we all pray, right? Just you should have pray. And second, most important thing, all these people emphasize is good company, holy company. Right now, what we are having, and you go to family or you go to a temple, anytime where you have people who love God, talk about God, being in their company is the sign of, greatest sign of God's grace. So we should always, Swami says, give money and buy good company. Give money and get rid of the bad company. Run away from bad companies. Bad company can really mess you up. There are so many examples, like Karna was destroyed by the because of the company of this, and Kaikeyi, who was loved Lord Rama so much, because of the bad company of Mandara, her whole thing, her mind was polluted. Because you go on listening to the negative things from people, even good people, you can get polluted. If you're a good company like a Shabari, she's a tribal lady, doesn't know any scholarship, no Vedas, but because she was the company of the Rishis, he got realization of Lord Rama just with the one darshan. So main thing is always pray to God, give me the good company, good company, if not good books. So something so that our thoughts are always sanctified. This is very, very important. So this is good. Yeah. Huh?
Uncle.
Oh, Harish, yeah.
Uncle, going back to the discussion on surrender, I was reminded of this in Prema Vahini. Swami talks about two kinds of devotion. One is effortful devotion, like the monkey cub holding on to the mother as tight as possible and jumping around. And he says Prahalada was like that, effortful devotion in Prema Vahini. And then the other one is this, I think, Marjala Kishore or kitten.
Yeah.
And completely surrender, and the mother comes and takes the kitten wherever it's supposed to be. The kitten is not even holding on to the mother. And he said Lakshmana was that kind, that is total self-surrender, because he left everything to serve Rama. So I was just wondering, in that context, if Prahalada was effortful devotion, and Prahalada was one of the highest kinds of devotees. And we want to be like Lakshmana, or we want to be like Prahalada?
No, though, let me tell you two things. First, I want to explain. These are the two famous example of surrender, prapatti. Marjala Kishora Nyaya and Markata Kishora Nyaya. Marjala Kishora Nyaya is cat and the kitten, and the Markata Kishora Nyaya is the monkey and the kitten. So you can just imagine a monkey, that baby holds on to the monkey, right? One monkey jumps one place to another. So it is holding on, so it is safe. But if it loses the hold, it will drop on the floor and it will get hurt, right? That is where Marjala is. That means you need to have effort, otherwise you will hold on. But whereas the other one, Marjal Kishornaya, monkey, is that cat doesn't takes the baby kitten and then puts in different places. It says mew, mew, wherever you keep, I am happy. Similarly, Sri Ramakrishna used to encourage, just be like a baby and kitten. So wherever your Lord keeps you, be the thing. So ideally, complete surrender is the Marjala Kishore Nyayam. That means it is nothing, you don't even have an effort completely. I can't say that in the kitten because Swami himself extolled Prahlada so much that he could always didn't know anything of that God. He says in the Advaitic sense, I don't know why he in that context it was mentioned, but all of us need to have that Marjala Kishore and things. So completely, Lord, thine will be done. Because Lakshmana, you know the story, right? When in the forest he was going, and this Lord Rama asked him, where should I put the cottage? Then he asked, then he said, wherever you want. When Lakshmana asked, Rama says, wherever you want, you can put the cottage. Then he cries, oh, what wrong did I do? You don't like me, I'm bad, I'm bad. Why do you say that? Because I don't have my will, only your will. Wherever you say, I don't have. That is why he can give up food and then sleep. Who can do that? Those are the dearest to any essential requirements for human being, food. So that kind of surrender, so you don't have your own will. Lord, thine will be done, not mine. So in essence, Lakshmana's will is that is he doesn't have his own thing, it is complete. But Prahlada is no less great devotee too. So as I said, I can't say that he has Markata Kishore Nyayam. So he is always, he knew nothing but God. So in the beginning, maybe he did some effort to do that. That's all I can comment on. Okay, anybody else has any comment? Good, I'm happy when people take part in the discussion. It stimulates our thinking, and so that we get grounded properly. Okay, good. Okay, we are ready to close and move on. And so next week we'll continue from here.